Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're unpacking a wonderfully charming story about a concept every single one of us deals with, whether we're little kids or fully grown adults. We're talking about the power and, honestly, the magic of sharing. We're going to see how a very simple, everyday moment completely transforms thanks to a beautiful, ancient lesson. Now, be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever wanted to keep a delicious treat all to yourself? Of course you have. We all have. It's a completely natural, deeply human instinct. You get your hands on something wonderful, and your immediate thought is to protect it, right? To just enjoy it completely on your own. Well, that super relatable dilemma is exactly the situation our main character finds herself in today. Meet Vihu. She is this incredibly innocent, cheerful little girl. She isn't a bad or greedy kid. She is just an innocent child navigating the world, trying to figure out how things work. And today, her usual cheerful nature is going to be tested by a temporary moment of completely understandable selfishness. And here is the catalyst for the whole shebang. Vihu's grandpa brings her a gift. Just picture this, a plate full of fresh, juicy, very sweet green grapes. Absolute jackpot for a kid, right? This plate of grapes sparks our entire dilemma. It's the ultimate prize, and she immediately runs over to her mom to show off this newfound treasure. But listen to the declaration she makes to her mom. It is hilariously honest. I'm going to eat all of these grapes alone. I will not give them to anyone. If I share them, I will have less, right? It's just brilliant kid logic. Look at that innocent assumption right at the end there, that sharing means subtraction. And, in a purely physical, mathematical sense, her logic totally tracks. If she has 20 grapes and gives away 10, she only has 10 left. She literally tells her mom, I love eating alone. This strictly numerical view of the world is the perfect setup for a much, much larger lesson. Section 1, the mythological parallel, a mother's gentle lesson. Now, mom doesn't scold Vihu or snatch the grapes away. Instead, she responds with such incredible grace. She smiles gently, pats Vihu on the head, and decides to teach her by tapping into a story. She asks Vihu a really simple question. Who was the best friend of our beloved Lord Krishna? And Vihu, being a smart kid, immediately knows the answer, Sudamaji. By bringing these two mythological figures into the mix, mom is instantly elevating the stakes of the lesson. She's using this legendary story of true friendship to perfectly illustrate the timeless meaning of sharing. Mom then asks Vihu what Sudama brought for Krishna when he went to visit him in Dwarka. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact contrast mom is trying to set up. Think about Vihu's situation, fresh, juicy, premium green grapes, compared to Sudama's gift, which was just simple, dry puffed rice, or pohe, carried in a tiny cloth bundle. Sudama had very little food to his name, but he still brought this really modest offering to his friend. Mom is showing Vihu that the actual material value of an item, it doesn't matter at all when it comes to the act of giving. So it begs a fascinating question, getting right to the emotional core of things. Krishnaji was the king of the entire universe. He literally had access to anything he could ever want. So why on earth did that simple, dry pohe taste like the most delicious food in the world to him? How could something so incredibly basic be valued so highly by someone so powerful? Well, mom explains exactly why that simple food tasted so incredibly delicious. It was because the puffed rice was literally wrapped in the love of friendship and sharing. Sudama shared what little he had with a completely full heart. And this was absolutely a two-way street of generosity. Krishnaji also always shared his butter, his makan, with all of his friends. The secret ingredient wasn't sugar or expensive spices. The secret ingredient was the mutual love and the act of sharing itself. Section 2, the core lesson. The mechanics of sharing. Having established this gorgeous mythological parallel, mom brings the conversation right back to the present moment to break down the mechanics of sharing for Vihu. Now, what's really interesting about this is the contrast. When we eat alone, yes, it fills our stomach and it's only for ourselves. It solves a physical need. But when we share, it brings a beautiful smile to other people's faces, and that in turn makes our own hearts happy. She is masterfully contrasting the purely physical act of eating with the immense emotional joy of sharing. Which brings us to this absolute gem of a quote from Mom. Sharing never decreases our things, it multiplies our love and happiness. This directly answers Vihu's logic from earlier. Remember, Vihu thought sharing was pure subtraction. Mom is telling her, no, actually, scratch that. Sharing is multiplication. You might physically have fewer grapes, sure, but the love and happiness you generate, it grows exponentially. It completely flips the script on how we value the stuff we have. Section 3. Vihu's beautiful transformation. You know, Mom's words just instantly click for Vihu. She finally gets the true magic of sharing, and she goes right into action planning mode. Step 1, she holds out the plate and gives the very first grape to her mom. Step 2, she decides to patiently wait for the evening. And step 3, when her friend Pihu comes over, they are going to share and eat the rest of the grapes together. Talk about a 180. She went from wanting to hoard all the grapes to scheduling out exactly how she's going to share them. And why the sudden change? Because her motivation completely shifted. Her ultimate goal wasn't just to eat grapes anymore. As she tells her mom, she wants to see the magic of sharing just like Krishnaji. That mythological story successfully inspired her real-world actions. She wants to feel that exact same joy and connection that the king of the universe felt when he shared with his best friend. Seeing this transformation, Mom is obviously thrilled. She gives Vihu a big kiss on the cheek and lays out the ultimate rewards of this mindset. Children who share become everyone's favorite, just like Krishna. When we share, our friends become happy and God becomes happy too. It all really boils down to that classic phrase, sharing is caring. It creates this massive ripple effect of positivity that goes way, way beyond a simple plate of fruit. And Mom offers one final, really sweet takeaway here. She tells Vihu, look, eating together is actually going to make these grapes taste even sweeter. Sharing doesn't leave you with less. The shared emotional experience literally enhances the physical experience. Those grapes aren't just going to taste like grapes anymore. They're going to taste like friendship and joy and the magic of giving. And that brings us to the end of our story about Vihu, her grandpa's grapes, and a truly timeless lesson. What an amazing reminder that sharing brings the biggest joy into our lives. So as we wrap up this explainer, I've got to turn it over to you. What do you think about this? Where does the magic of sharing show up in your day-to-day life? Take a moment to really reflect on that. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, keep sharing, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to Wisdom Tree Kids for more inspiring, educational, and entertaining stories for children.